Hello everyone. So today I'm going to go to, I think if I have time, 10 independent bookstores all around Copenhagen, which is super exciting for multiple reasons. One, we can still do that in Denmark, you know? And I feel like I want to take the opportunity to actually do something like that. Don't come at me for any regulations. In Denmark, you only need to wear a mask when you're in like a public space, for example, the store or like a park, cafe, like anything that is an actual public space. So I'm just following the regulations of my country. What else? I have an adventure time theme. I have this on, and then green backpack, jeans. So the first store we're going to, they're all independent except one, I believe they're a chain, but they only have 4 shops on the same corner. So I think it was an independent bookstore that just sort of expanded on that street. So I don't know if I should call it independent because it's still like literally a chain. But beside that, there's 10 independent bookstores, and we'll start with one that's a second-hand bookstore. And I'm walking there. They get like a lot of new books, and it's really cozy, and they have quite a few English books. So we'll start with that one. I'm super excited. I think for today, I've seen about half of the bookstores that we're going to visit, and half of them are new to me. I'm so excited. So this right here is called Antikvariatet. It's like how I say it in Swedish, but it basically means antique books, but they have new and old used books. I was here last week and I found a book that someone just like, what was it called? The Girl Who Could Move Shit With Her Mind. Like someone had literally come in like 20 minutes before me and given it up. And that's so exciting because it's sort of a new book. So sometimes they have books that you never expect. So all of these books are English books on both sides. This one and on the next side. And then they also have some like sci-fi books here and some comics there, which I know are also some in English. Alright, now I'm outside Politikens Bokhandel, which basically means the political bookstore because this building is called Politics. I don't know why, there's probably a great reason for it. But this is actually an independent bookstore. It doesn't look that way because they have great book picks, and I think they pride themselves on the people that work in the bookstore and their expertise as well. Like, I would love to work here, but I literally don't think I'm versed enough in the book world. So they have a lot of books that I feel like, for example, I found Talking Animals here, and it's not so well known, and they just pick great books. The fantasy and sci-fi sections are quite huge, and they just have like a lot to choose from, and there's a lot of English books. I think, I wouldn't say the majority, but at least half is English, which is really great and rare to find when you live in a non-English speaking country. So I'm really excited about this. Let's check it out. This shop is at Rådhusplatsen, which is here. I'm gonna buy a face mask, which is better because the one I have now, listen, I know it's shit. I made it myself just because I needed one, and I'm going to buy one that's better. So now we are at Strøget, which is basically like the main shopping area and tourist area in Copenhagen. There are these small streets that have like small shops, and this is Fantask, which is a super small, you go down to the basement, basically science fiction and fantasy bookstore. They have, I think, exclusively new books, and they also have quite a few comic books, I believe. They do have a Danish section and a full English section, which is awesome. Let's go inside. So I actually ended up buying much too much books, but it is a small store, so I feel good about it. And I encourage you guys to buy books from your independent bookstores if you want to buy books at all, which, like, if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you do. Basically, I'm going to Faraos now. It is a similar store, but I think it's like it's much more of a chain. And to be honest, last time I was in Fantask, I wasn't into comic books and graphic novels, so I was shocked by their selection and like very pleasantly surprised because I didn't remember that at all. So now we're going to a similar store that's a bit bigger. So this right here is Faraos Cigarer's costume and collectible shop. This is their figure painting store. This is their Danish comic book store. So down there is their video merchandise store, I think. And this, my friends, is their English comic book store. So this right here behind me is Paludan Bogcafé, and they're mostly cafe, like library cafe. They have an antique bookstore down in the basement. I really hope they're open. One of my best friends actually works here in the cafe, so maybe we'll see her as well. So this bookstore has like a ton of books. They also have some new ones, but they have a lot of Danish books, and the English books are kind of mixed like within the Danish books. So if you have time, you can come here and you can look and you can find some like really gold stuff, but you do have to like look within all the other Danish stuff, which is kind of a downside, but it could be fun if you're into that too. Okay, so they have all these like super strange statues and stuff everywhere. It reminds me of Steven Universe when Peridot makes like meep morp, which is basically what she calls like art, and it reminds me of these. So I ended up just bumping into this one. This is also an independent bookstore. They have mostly Danish books, but a few English like sprinkled along inside them. And they also have quite a few Scandinavian translated to English books, which I really loved. And then I ended up having coffee there instead of Paludan. That was great because I found a new place and I didn't buy anything, but I'll definitely be going back. So cool. So this right here behind me is I think I read that it was Scandinavia's biggest secondhand bookstore, and I've never actually been inside, but I have walked past a million times. I've never seen that it's that big, but they usually have loads of pretty cheap books here, but because it's sort of raining today, I guess they covered them up. Let's go inside. Okay, this is just a funny side note. This is the Danish edition of the Graveyard Book, but they've translated the Graveyard Book to another English word. Nobody. So this section right here is what I believe are the English books. Just wanted to come on here and mention that this bookstore right there, Untitled Chapter, is also a great bookstore for English books. They're just not independent. Oh my god, the sun is coming out. So this right here, if you can see it, there we go. Cinnober. It's actually classified as a design and art store, but they do have a lot of like graphic books, like not necessarily graphic novels, but independently published different types of books that has to do with art and design. It looks really cool and has a great aesthetic, so I'll go inside and we'll talk more about how it applies to like what we're interested in here on BookTube, because I've never been here before, but I love checking out new independent stores like this. So. So the obvious danger of visiting this many independent bookstores is that I end up buying something from every single one because I want to support every single one. But this one was really cool. Basically, the woman that owned it, she is a graphic designer. Instead of doing like a lot of graphic design, she started basically designing her new store at the store, and there's a lot of picture books. It was really cool. I did end up buying 2 books, which wasn't the plan, but I'm really excited for it. They're both non-fiction about mindfulness, communication, and art. So I'm really excited about that. Now we're going to a bookstore called Tranquebar, I think. I think it's a travel bookstore, and it's supposed to be very diverse and colorful. So this right there is a store called Posterland. I ordered from them online earlier this year, and basically they have awesome posters, so excuse me while I make a detour. So that was a really nice bookstore, and they really did have like quite a large variety of diverse reads, and they did have a small English section, but they had a separate section. Wait, where's the light? Where's the light? There we go. They had a separate section for climate change and environmental books and activist books, which I just love, because every time I go to a bookstore, I ask like, hey, where'd you have the books on climate change or activism or, you know, any type of stuff, and they're like, that's such a small section. You can find it with like the social books, you know? But like, how can one of the biggest crises of our time be a small section, if they even have one at all? You know, like it should be like a whole wall for this. That's the dream, and it's even sad that I'm surprised and grateful that this bookstores even have a section for it, because usually they don't, but I feel like all bookstores need to. So I'm really excited about that. We have 2 more. One of them closes at 4, and it's sort of on the other side of town, so I really hope I can get there on time. Okay, this one is in Vesterbro of Frederiksberg. I found this by accident when I was gluing my puzzle at a place close to here. It is they call it like delikatessbokhandel, which basically means like an exclusive delicacy bookstore, which I think is really cool. I ended up finding Death in Our Hands by Tessa Marshbeck here, which is such a weird special book, so I think that is so cool, and they close in like 5 minutes. So that was my 10th bookstore today, which is just absolutely crazy. I feel quite beat. The last one closes at 6, so I have like 2 hours. So I think I'm gonna get some food and charge my battery for my camera. And it was really nice. I think what I've enjoyed most today is like every bookstore I've gone to, I've had a little chat with the people working in the bookstore and owning the bookstore about what it's like having an independent bookstore during these times, if you can order online and stuff. So I will link everything down below. If you can order online, their Instagrams and websites for people, Danish people living in different outside of Denmark, as well as the ones that have English books. There's pretty much all of them, and if you can order online. Guys, it's literally like 4:45 and it's so dark. So guys, it's been quite the journey. I walked wrong twice. The store closes in half an hour, but I finally found it, and it's super cute, super small. It has the vegetarian as a display book, which just bodes well, I think, for this independent bookstore. I am just a mess at this point, but I'm so happy I found it. We are at Nørrebro right now. Yes, bookstore. Let's just go inside. I'm soon home now. I think it's like 6:30. It's late. I'm really tired. But I think it was so cool to visit Ark Books. Ark Books doesn't have an owner, but instead there's 20 plus volunteers that choose the selection of the books that are going to go into the store. So they're all volunteers, and they only use the money that they get from the store already. Which I think is such a cool concept, because it's just about reading and information, and there's no profit, but I love it, and honestly I would love to join. And they had such a great selection of books. It was really varied. They had some secondhand books, and I did buy some books, so it was a lot of effort. My shoe broke on the way there, but I'm really glad that I went. It was so worth it. Ark Books is probably my favorite so far, which is really cozy and homey and indie-like more than the others. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little vlog visit. Bookstores in Copenhagen, seen a bit of the city. So I will leave all the information, links to websites, Instagrams, to every single store that I visited today. And if you have any more stores, you can just talk about them, whatever, down in the comments, so other people looking for independent bookstores can also do that you go and support your local independent bookstore. Yeah, I really enjoyed talking to a lot of the people today. It's just been really fun and engaging. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. Have a good one. I wish you all the best and keep reading. Bye!